Now, earlier we were talking about scabs and eating them and hunger and protein. And now I'm going to show you something as we wind down the show that is disturbing to see. So close your eyes if you don't want to see it. This is melanoma. Now, I've had 5 of them, all surgically removed successfully. And my doctor says, oh, we got it early. It's fine. Don't worry. And I said, well, I'm not really worried. Should I be worried? He said, oh, you don't know about melanoma. And then he goes on to terrify you. How it can infect your organs and move to lymph nodes and become a big problem. So he said, that's why you have to go in regularly. Things that we don't like, we get rid of so it doesn't spread. And then you run into this from the New England Journal of Medicine, which always has the most graphic stuff to make their biggest point. And they show you this melanoma that is on this guy's stomach. And it turns your stomach and it terrifies you because you think, that doesn't look like skin cancer. But it is. So I'm going to show it to you in 3, 2, and 1. Yeah. But it's a wonderful story with a wonderful ending. Targeted therapy in melanoma. Ay, 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 ay. So this is the first. Image A. That is a melanoma. That is a skin cancer on this guy's stomach. And this story goes about how you can treat this sort of unbelievable melanoma with targeted treatment. Medical intervention, lasers, injections, and medication. And it was metastatic. And then here's the second one, right? They've reduced it. Amazing. This big lump here, right here, is almost nothing. And the third one is what they consider pretty much healed. I mean, to go from that to this, now that is the miracle of modern medicine. 10 years ago, I don't think this guy would have survived. But today, because of research and perseverance, they can save someone with that sort of melanoma. You can see the inside of his stomach, where he's pretty much healed and on his way to recovery. So I share that as something to be concerned about, because when we think of melanoma, we usually think of it, something on your face caused by the sun. Well, sometimes they can be in your groin, where you don't know where they are. Sam Donaldson, if you remember him, the toupee-wearing, tough guy reporter for ABC News. And Ronald Reagan tormentor had a melanoma in his groin that was invisible to the eye. And somehow he went in for a routine check, and probably because he was Sam Donaldson of ABC News with a lot of money, his doctor found that malignant melanoma in his groin. And they cut it out and they saved his life. And his doctor said if he had gone another 6 months, he would not have had that result. So check your body, because there are things out there and things growing on you that you might not even know are there. My first melanoma was right here, on the back of my neck. I can't see anything. I didn't know it was there. It was a little rough patch. I put lotion on it. And one day we were out walking in the bright sunshine. And usually Jen is on this side of me because I see better with this eye for walking. But for some reason we had flipped and we were this way. She was on this side of me. And she looked at my neck and she said, do you know you have a hole in your neck? And a hole in my head. I get it. Okay, funny. No. We know that. The hole in your head. But do you know you have a hole in your neck? I said, what do you mean? And she says, you have a big hole. I I said, no, that's just dry skin. She said, I don't think so. It's a hole. So I went to the doctor, forced to go to the doctor, and he took one look at it. This is Dr. Katz, my 78-year-old, 80-year-old dermatologist. And he said, oh, I don't like that. And I've never seen him that concerned before. Everything else I've had done has been nothing. But that, I could see his eyes. And he said, I think we can get it. And then he proceeded for the next 15 minutes to burn me with his burn stick. And that took about 6 months to clear up. We had to keep digging and expanding. And finally, he told me after about 3 months that he got it all and was done. So I was very thankful for that. And then about 6 months after that, I'm watching the Rachel Maddow show. And she's telling a story that her girlfriend, partner, wife, I don't know what it is, they were walking in Massachusetts. And the girlfriend says, do you know you have a hole in your neck? I said, you mean I have a hole in my neck? And Rachel said, what do you mean a hole in my neck? It was word for word. It was the same conversation. And Rachel Maddow went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you have malignant melanoma. And Rachel said, how is that possible? I said, you have a hole in your neck. So I don't know how people who are by themselves, who live alone, who are aged, who are young, who are anti-people people, how do they know they have a hole in their neck? Unless they have a hole in their neck. Unless they can somehow see. Because if it's on the back of your neck, there's no way you can see it unless you're looking for it with a mirror. And as I'm rambling on, I remember the hockey game. Remember that? And there was a referee in the hockey game. And there was a young dermatology student who was watching the game, and the referee she was right in the front row, and the glass was here, and the referee got bumped into her view. And then, they have to separate them because they're fighting, and she's looking. And she sees that this referee guy, on the back of his neck, has a hole in his neck. And she was so worried that she called the team the next day and said, this referee, I saw him at the game. I'm a dermatology student becoming a doctor. And your referee has a hole in his neck. He needs to get it looked at because it's cancer, I believe. And they told the guy, thank goodness, I think they were Canadian, so they didn't let it just go. They found the referee. He went to the dermatologist, and the skin doctor said, you have a hole in your neck, and it's malignant melanoma. And it's advanced. And they took care of it, they cut it out. And this guy found this skin doctor student and said, thank you so much for saving my life. And she said, you're welcome. I was very scared for you. It's a beautiful story. Gordon says, texture? Gordon says, how to know you're a theater person? That you called it the front row. Absolutely. What do you call that when you're at a hockey game and you're in the front row? The first row? What do you call that? I've never been to a hockey game, honestly. I have no idea. Not my game. But if you have dermatology students giving out free advice and skin checks, I'll go. Because I'll take help from anybody who will offer it. But I love that story. And you feel bad for a guy who either is with someone who doesn't know, or he lives alone and doesn't know he has a hole in his neck. Gordon says, I'm not a sports person either, or enough to know what it's called. Down front. What do you call the first row of a baseball game? I have no idea. Row A, maybe. Gordon says, what I meant by texture is, could you feel the hole? No, there was no hole. And I would put stuff on it every day because I thought, as I told that it was psoriasis, because I looked it up. It maybe felt a little scaly, but I looked it up. I'm my own skin doctor. And I determined myself that it was psoriasis because it had all the it looked red that I could see, held up a mirror. There was no hole. But Janet said, no, there's a hole. You can put your finger in it. What? And it's funny, when we first moved to Jersey City, we went to our skin doctor, and his wife is a skin doctor as well. And Janet was there seeing her about something on her arm. And I love his wife. She has the most beautiful skin in the world. Makes sense, right? You have the most beautiful skin I have ever seen, and you happen to be a skin doctor. And she's wonderful. He's a little brusque. She's wonderful. And there was something on Janet's arm that turned out to be, it was weird. We thought it was a mole gone bad, but she said, no, it's an insect bite that has turned into something brown and weird looking, puckerish, but it's nothing. And so then I asked her other questions about, me, and then my turn, saw me, we talked about things. And she said to me, well, you know a lot about dermatology. You're asking good questions. You have insight. You know. You could be an assistant dermatologist, skin doctor. Now, that was 17 years ago. And so, because of that interaction, especially with my beautiful wife, Jan Marie, I have invoked that several times by saying, well, as assistant skin doctor, I would say meow, meow, meow about anything. The weather, the type of beans we should have for dinner. It was an authority that was bestowed upon me that at the time I believed I deserved. But then in reality later, 10 years later, 12 years later, when I have a hole in my neck and I don't know what it is, and I won't go to the doctor until I'm forced to go to the doctor, I feel like I lose some of my authority as assistant skin doctor when I then have 5 melanomas that I did not self-diagnose. But now I know what to look for. But before, if I was something, a skin tag or some kind of mole that I didn't like, as assistant skin doctor, I would just go and, burn it off myself with the freeze spray. The Dr. Scholl's wart remover is great for removing things on your skin that you don't want. They don't have to be warts. And then someone tells you have a hole in your neck and the whole thing changes. And all of your authority, all the non-schooling you did for 12 years goes up in a puff of smoke, phrased in as I told you so. A little heartbreaking to have that kind of reality check. But such is the life of an assistant skin doctor in Jersey City. And that said, I wish I had a little Jack and Coke. Don't even want to mix it myself. I want to crack open a can and have one. I love the idea.